Thank you for joining us for the most wonderful time of the year. And I am pleased to introduce today's guest, Donté Gibbs. A native of East Cleveland, Dante is the VP of Community Partnerships at the Conservancy for Cuyahoga Valley National Park, where he works across departments, implementing community initiatives, building partnerships, and developing internal and external engagement strategies, including partnering with Bedrock to develop Skylight Park in Tower City. He's a graduate of Shaw High and earned his undergraduate and graduate degrees from Case Western University. He went from preparing for pre-med to majoring in sociology and then completing his master's degree in community and social development track. This path prepared him to care for his community in a variety of ways. For example, he aided in launching Rhythm on the River concert series, welcoming over 22,000 visitors to Cuyahoga Valley National Park over the past 3 years. He and 10 other health and civic and grassroots organizations created Masks for Community, an initiative that provided 77,000 free washable masks for Clevelanders and East Clevelanders during the pandemic. In 2020, he launched CMNH Engaged with Cleveland Museum of Natural History and Cleveland Votes, where residents could register to vote and complete a 2020 US Census. This led to all staff having Election Day off to vote, furthering efforts of the museum now being free on Sundays for all Cleveland and East Cleveland residents. This past election, Dante successfully encouraged over 25 organizations to give employees time off to vote. And in the spirit of giving, he created Dante's Gift Express, delivering gifts and holiday cards to over 8,000 East Cleveland families' homes since 2013. In 2023, Dante's Gift Express celebrated 11 years by welcoming 29,000 residents to Tower City for a free family fun day. And this event just happened again this past weekend. He is gearing up for a big delivery day on December 21st, when he and his team will bring lots of joy and cheer to East Cleveland families. A graduate of Cleveland Bridge Builders class of 2019 and Leadership Cleveland 2023, Dante certainly leads by example and is an inspiration to all of us, not just during the holidays, but each and every day. Please welcome Donté Gibbs.
I'll just start with a quick presentation around Gift Express. So Dante's Gift Express was began in 2013, and really just this idea of a way to just sort of give back to where me and 4 friends graduated from Shaw High School. And so to be able to be a part of the community still and thinking about how we grew up there and still interact and engage with current students at the local schools, but then also our neighbors, the folks that raised us. And so essentially growing up in East Cleveland, we're sort of just taught, we have to be there for each other. And that's one thing that I always pride myself from being from East Cleveland. We do have this stubborn pride at times, but it's really a whole family, and it's really looking at, our hands and what we are able to use and thinking about how do we help ourselves while also helping others within that. So from left to right, that's myself, India, Dominique, and Sarita. And so we are natives of East Cleveland and graduates of Shaw High School, the best class of '06. And so, as I said, we just have this deep pride and just willingness to really serve families within our hometown. And that has really been the foundation of our friendship. And so me and Dominique are best friends, India and Sarita are best friends. And so when you sort of put that all together, it really creates for a really dynamic working team to where we all know the vision, we all support the vision, and we all are able to bring our own talents and our education and our lived experiences to the table to really think about giving and service in a different way. And so we really just kind of shake up what volunteering means and what it means to really give joy to families throughout the year, but most importantly, during this most wonderful time of the year, which is the Christmas and New Year's season. So this has been our impact. And so since 2013, we just made this commitment to our community and neighbors to say, whether we are living in East Cleveland or East Cleveland adjacent, East Cleveland is always home. It's a place that we feel that comfort, right? It's a place to where we know the challenges, but we're here to sort of face those challenges head on. And we also think about this responsibility that we have to build where we live. And so that responsibility lends to helping spread joy and cheer and also instilling hope, even at times if we feel hopeless within our city, within our region. You know, we all sort of face different challenges where we live. And so Tower City Family Fun Day last year was amazing. This year we just had it this past Saturday, and we were able to. I just got this number. I was telling Angela earlier. We just got this number in today, so we were able to welcome over 25,000 people to Tower City. And what's really unique about that is that Dante's Gift Express Family Fun Day at Tower City was a standalone event, major event within downtown Cleveland this past Saturday. And so we were able to attract that number without a Cavs game or a sporting event. And so I just have to pat myself on the back and my team on the back just for that, because that really shows the impact and how much this has grown over the past 12 years. We've been able to reach over 8,000 families. That's going to change as we continue throughout this season as well. We've been able to raise nearly 200,000 in philanthropic dollars. And so this comes from family, this comes from friends, this comes from Cleveland Philanthropy and corporations, so the business community as well. But then also folks that are donating. So we have donations that we're able to take on our website as well too. And so when you add all that support up, that's what that adds up to. We've been able to partner with over 700 volunteers. And I use the word partner because this is something that really takes a commitment to think about 3 weekends of just spreading joy and just smiling. Um, it's really intense. And so I kind of think of it as chaotic joy. And it's a lot of different moving parts, but for volunteers to really stand with you and do this, it really just kind of shows the love that people have for people. And I think oftentimes that's missed during the holiday season, that's missed during tons of seasons, election season, within our lives. And so during that time, we are able to just remind folks of the joy of humanity. The Betty Ruth families, we've been able to adopt 26 families, and I'll talk a little more about what the Betty Ruth families are. We've been able to deliver books. And so as we think about Cleveland and our literacy rates and education is something that's important to me and my team. And so every year or so, or every other year or so, we partner with whether it's Literacy in the Hood or the Kids Book Bank to think about how do we get some books directly in the hands of residents, not only in East Cleveland, but throughout greater Cleveland area as well. Another part that I'm really proud of is that we have this continued and intentional support of local women and minority-owned businesses such as Bite Creole Kitchen, Pearl Flower Catering, Cafe LA, Ambitious Inc., who does our t-shirts, Cosmic Bobbins, who has been able to do some of our embroidery work, Living Rich, and much, much more. This in itself has been able to be representative of what our impact is and continues to be. So Betty Ruth is my girl. Betty Ruth is my late grandmother, and so we were able to add a piece to Dante's Gift Express in a way that honors her and honors her legacy. And so my grandmother took us with her to do service when we were younger. So we knew about volunteering as young as 6 years old. We used to volunteer at the Hunger Center, which was right across from my childhood church, Faith Tabernacle on 67th and Superior. And we would go there, we would help pack bags for families. Sometimes we took some of the snacks for ourselves because, we're kids, but we had to be able to learn what service was. And that was something that she instilled in my family and my cousins. And so this is a way that we're able to honor her legacy of being able to give back in a way that makes a difference. I remember when I brought this idea to her in 2013, I said, Grandma, I'm gonna do like a parade through the city with Christmas gifts. And I don't know what it's going to be called yet, but we're just going to surprise families with gifts and sort of just bring Christmas to their doorsteps. And she said, well, you have to have some holiday cards with it. I'm like, Grandma, ain't nobody trying to sign all the cards. But she said it's important for the gifts to be accompanied by holiday cards. And so I'm happy that we've been able to continue that tradition. And I was able to be obedient to my grandmother and listen to her. So each gift that we pass out, it comes with a handwritten card of just encouragement and really just being able to say, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and enjoy, this gift as a family. And so our gifts are things that really allows the family to enjoy time together, and so that includes board games. So whether it's Monopoly or Uno, and those are very intense games, at least in my family. Like Uno can start an argument just as well as Monopoly. But it at least brings folks to the table. We've done cookware and cookbooks, we've done sleds, we've done museum memberships, we've done movie passes. We used to do DVDs, but times have changed, and so now we do some gift baskets where it's the throw blanket, hot chocolate, popcorn, and so it still invites family to get around and watch their favorite holiday movie together. Our programming this year really included, it began in early November, and that was for folks to nominate families for the Betty Ruth gift. And so, once again, this allows for us to move beyond East Cleveland with our large general delivery. And so, this allow folks to nominate families throughout Cuyahoga County who will need some extra support based on their unique needs, and we are able to select those families. This year, we had a record number of nominations. We had 93 nominations for families, and we were able to adopt around 10. And we're actually going to be making those deliveries between now and Christmas to the families. Saturday, December 7th, we had our big gift wrapping party, and we were able to have a new partner on board this year with McGregor. And so McGregor Home is within East Cleveland, and they were just ranked the number third senior living facility in the country. And so when you think about the assets in East Cleveland and the treasures, this is a way for us to be able to share that with the world. And we're grateful for McGregor for opening up their doors to allow us to do this in a big way. And so that gift wrapping party, we were able to wrap nearly 1,200 gifts, and we had a DJ and we had snacks. We had some representatives from the Cavs come. So Campy Russell came out. And he was introducing himself to everyone. I'm like, Campy, everyone knows you. But it was just really great just to think about us being at a senior living facility and then also having volunteers as young as 4 to be there. So when you think about intergenerational and being able to have these things, this allows for us to really have these dynamic conversations that allow for exchange of stories, exchange of wisdom, and it just really creates a warm atmosphere to where it really just feels like just a large living room of being there with family. As I mentioned earlier, we had our family fun day at Tower City, and this was open to the public, and this was a way for us to really just celebrate 12 years and really think about joy in a way that it's different, but it feels familiar at the same time. And so we were able to have free holiday photos. And I want to give a shout out to our Santa and Mrs. Claus, which was Erica and Brian Anthony of Cleveland Votes. So if you're familiar with the Cleveland Votes organization in Cleveland, Erica, as the executive director, and her husband, Brian, they played our Santa and Mrs. Claus. And so each family that attended, if they wanted a photo, they were able to take a photo of Santa and Mrs. Claus and get it printed as a memento to take home. We had live music performances from vocalists and from Shaw High School Marching Band. We did some surprise gift giveaways to support stores within Tower City. So Feet Geek Tennis Shoe Store, and then also Applejack's Toys. We also had a hot chocolate bar, and we did some virtual reality game corner. And so it was just an immense time to really just have, and we were able to partner with Radio One with Z179, and they served as our co-host and provided the tunes for that day. Next up is this Saturday, our big finale, and that will be the East Cleveland gift distribution, because there's really no Gift Express without the city of East Cleveland. And so this is our annual gift day, and we are going to surprise East Cleveland residents by delivering gifts door to door. And so as I think about what Gift Express means, and as Angela mentioned earlier, within my day job at Conservancy for Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and having this partnership with Bear Rock to revamp the area where the fountain used to be into Skylight Park, it's really a way that I'm able to merge my profession and my passion into something that's prolific, right? Something that's beyond me. It's enough to produce impact and joy. And Tower City, they lit up last year. Last weekend, they lit up the tower within our colors this past weekend. So black, red, and white. And so whether you look towards the downtown sky and you see our colors, or you see us block by block in East Cleveland, you will always find us at the intersection of joy, service, and community. And so I will stop sharing there, and I'll open it for questions.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dante. Um, so looking back, before we look to the future, just looking back, what are some of the stories that stand out to you from the families that you've met through the generosity from the community and through these delivery days around your community?
Yes, it's always sort of that surprise when we sort of go door to door and they're trying to figure out like who we are, what's going on, and um, why are you making all this noise outside, right? Because we have the East Cleveland Police Department, which is our partner within as well. And so not only do they block off the streets and allow us to run the red lights without getting a camera ticket, but they also allow us to reintroduce them to community as well too. And so when folks see the lights and they hear the Christmas music, they're sort of confused, right? And they're like, what's going on? But then they see us running up to their doorsteps, and you have folks who are peeking out their window and then they don't answer their door. But then once they see all the joy on their street, they're coming outside. We've had families donate on the spot to us, and that's always heartwarming, because as we're providing a service for them, they're also providing a service to us. And that's the spirit of East Cleveland that I know and love. And so that's some of the memories that I have within Gift Express.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I love how you said earlier too, the joy of humanity. That's exactly what it seems like you're describing. So,
Mhm.
and so growing up in East Cleveland yourself, being a product of the community, is there anything that surprised you about the community through this work?
I think one thing that may have surprised me is just the amount of love and support for this. Sometimes when you start something, it's small, right? And you think about, okay, we started this year, we're going to do it this next year. But for folks to contact us as early as June and say like, hey, I know Gift Express is coming up. Make sure I'm on the list, or remind me about this, or like, yes, my family can't wait to do this. My kids love walking door to door, or they love going to Tower City for Family Fun Day to create new memories, right? And so that's one thing that has been surprising, is that we've had to scale up in such a fast and organic way to where we're still been able to stay true to our mission and our vision, and be able to invite folks into that, and they support it and defend it greater than we do.
Yeah. So looking at your own career journey and leadership journey and civic engagement, you've had quite a path to get here, one that always seems to be driven by mission and purpose. And so can you talk a little bit about just how your own leadership has influenced this initiative and the work you're doing in the community?
Yes. And so I go back to even when I thought I was going to be a pediatrician, right? And I was going to go to case for pre-med. I knew that I enjoyed working with young people, and I knew that I wanted to do it in a way that affected my community in a positive way. So I just think about, my childhood of, what running around the city felt like, and having fun and things of that sort. And then being able to have an education that's based in that. And so, and for me to even challenge some of my professors at Case about what community means, and what family means to me. I'm glad I was able to do that within me majoring in sociology and being able to have that background and taking urban sociology and realizing, like, wow, this is Cleveland in the textbook. This is East Cleveland. Learning about sprawl, learning about loss of, manufacturing jobs, and what that, in terms affect our community. And so taking all of that and thinking about my love for community and youth, it's been able to allow me to take on positions and seek out work that doesn't feel like work, but it just feels like purpose, and allows me to have fun in it. I remember I was talking to my boss at the Conservancy, and I said, "You will know when I'm not having fun with something, and then there's going to be somewhat of an issue." So as long as I'm having fun doing the work, and we're able to push the envelope and really think about service and community in dynamic ways, then I'm here.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned some of the partnerships that have been essential to you. What I'm just curious, you mentioned your grandmother too. What kind of
Yes.
people have influenced you or inspired you to do this kind of work?
I would say in addition to my grandmother, it's my family. We still sort of all live within the Cleveland area. And so being able to be as close knit as we are, it allows for us to do things together in a way that prompts me to want to share that with more folks, right? Um, I think about my mentors like Mark Joseph at Case Western Reserve. Like, he's been able to sort of be in my corner and help me to think about things in a way that I don't always like, because it's the truth sometimes. But it allows me to have that lane of thinking that I only know will only further me. I'm inspired by my friends who have beat the odds, who we all had this label placed on us wherever we grew up from, right? And specifically in East Cleveland, that we're not going to make it. And so for us to make it, for us to all have a college education within my team, and for us to still be here to serve as mentors to folks coming up behind us, that's something that continues to push me. In the celebrity realm, I love LeBron, not just him on the court, but what he has been able to do in Akron, being from this region. Like, I can't look at LeBron and not be inspired.
Yeah, you're an inspiration too. I just want
Thank
you
you. I appreciate
about
that.
that. It feels like the right time to tell you that. So, having worked in various aspects of community development, from grassroots initiatives to foundation work to museum outreach, what have you found to be the most effective strategies for creating sustainable community change?
It's really taking your time, right? We live in a society where everything has to be fast paced. Everyone is trying to get to the next big thing. And one thing that I've been very intentional about is that folks will learn about us when it's time for them to learn about us. Folks will partner with us when it's time for them to partner with us. Yes, we do actively seek support, from fundraising, but this also allows for us to sort of work at our own pace in a way that feels achievable, and we're not just overwhelmed in a sense to where we sort of lose ourselves. And so being able to take that thought and connect it with our partners and pushing them to understand us. When Bayrock learned about Gift Express, they said, "Hey, let us know how we can support." And I said, "Well, give us the keys to Tower City." And they said, "Sure." And in that moment, I said, "Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Now we have to create something that's going to be dynamic and allow for them to really see the purpose of community in a way that changes how they interact with community, right?" And that's not always easy because bedrock is bedrock, bedrock Detroit, bedrock Cleveland. And so we do have these moments where we're trying to show what community is and how it should feel when we walk into their property, right? And how they do development within a city. And so I'm just hoping, my biggest hope with that partnership is that they look at how we do community and how community shows up with us, and that they never forget that.
So what's next? It seems like the more you do, the more you'll do. And, what what are your hopes for the future?
Hopes for the future. We would love to, continue our support with the Betty Ruth families in bigger ways. And so in the past, we've been able to help families with furniture. We're helping a family with a stove this year. We will want to, help a family with a vehicle, help a family, with secure housing. Um, this is our 12th year, so 15 years is coming up. I would like to do like a documentary to help celebrate like the 15 years to kind of just really show that growth of wrapping gifts in my mom's living room all the way to wrapping gifts at, McGregor and things of that sort. And so when you go from 80 gifts to 2,000 gifts in a year that we have to distribute, that I want to see that on the big screen.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna get a ticket to that for sure.
Yes.
So how can we help support your efforts? What types of donations are you looking for? What types of partnerships do you still want to create? How can we help advance the mission?
Yes, thanks for that. So we do take donations throughout the year, and that's at Donté'sGiftExpress.com. So DONTES at giftexpress.com. So we always take donations because we do sponsor schools and school supplies throughout the year. But the gifts that we have for families are always around like family gifts. And so while we do take toys that may be for kids, we leave those typically unwrapped or labeled in a way that allows us to be able to distribute those in a way during our gift distribution. Partnerships. We've been very lucky to really have some great support so far. I mean, a very amazing partnership will probably be with the LeBron James Family Foundation. We're inching our way with the Cavs more and more, and so I'm looking forward to that partnership growing and being enhanced. But I think the main partnership that we have is with people, and just being able to continue that. You all at Cleveland Leadership Center collected gifts from alum and staff and have donated that to us over the past couple of years. And that just shows, not only that we're just grateful for that, but it just shows how you all believe in this. And so we're just appreciative of folks along the journey with us that helps lead to these various partnerships. So just continue growing.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we are honored to be even a small part of the efforts that you do. And as you prepare to give gifts to residents, know that you're a gift to all of us, and your leadership and your determination and commitment to this is truly inspiring.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.